You're listening to Three Kitchens podcast, hosted by your favorite home cooks, Erin Walker and Heather Dyer. Join us for inspiration and a new recipe every Tuesday.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to today's episode. We are your hosts. I'm Erin Walker, and
I am Heather Dyer. Hello.
And today on Three Kitchens podcast, we are wrapping up the last month of barbecuing episodes with one more that Heather
I sort of insisted that it needs to be its own episode. It was going to be a little footnote on one of the other episodes. And then we got talking and I was like, this really needs to be its own.
In the episodes where we talked with Ryan and Avery about barbecue competitions, this topic of trimming chicken thighs and trimming the skin specifically on chicken thighs for smoking and for barbecue competition became something that we sort of got a little bit fixated on.
It just sounded like, what are you talking about? Is what I thought when Ryan introduced it as, he said, I don't want to have to prep chicken. It's so much work. And we're like, what could possibly be so much work about prepping chicken thighs for smoking or barbecuing? And it came up that for competition, you remove the skin, you scrape the fat off the back of it, and you put it back on the chicken, and then you smoke it. And we were fascinated. Yeah.
Here's a little clip about us talking about that with Ryan.
Chicken is the worst, horrible, most tedious thing in the world to prep for competition. But
why is that? Why?
Why?
Chicken, you can turn in whatever you want. There's not a rule as to what part of the chicken you're turning in.
Okay.
The majority of teams that win use chicken thighs. Bone in, skin on, chicken thighs. But if you're doing that, you want to have a nice bite through skin.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're cooking slowly with chicken skin, that's tough to get. So what we do is we peel the skin off. We take a sharp knife and scrape the fat off from the inside of the chicken skin.
Okay.
And we'll usually use a jacquard or whatever to pierce some holes in the chicken skin. And then we lovingly put the chicken skin back on that chicken thigh to cook it. So basically we're thinning out the chicken skin, getting rid of the fat so that it can be crisp up a little and give you a nice bite through.
Oh.
Wow. Okay. That is some work.
It is horrible.
That is tedious.
Yeah.
I never would have thought of that.
Trying not to rip that chicken skin in the process of scraping the fat off, right? So it's, yeah.
How do you get it to reattach and stay on there?
It stays on. No, it just, when you cook it, it just kind of
melts back into place.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, I never would have thought of that.
Okay, so after we talked about this, Heather kept bringing this up to me because she knew she didn't want to do it, but she wanted me to do it.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
And you took the challenge.
I took the challenge, and I also had this great recipe for a smoked bone-in skin-on chicken that I made from my new favorite cookbook from Scotty Scott called Fix Me a Plate. So enjoy our little chit chat about this fantastic chicken recipe. We make a delicious sauce also from the cookbook that I think has to go with everything you make on the barbecue from now on.
It really does. I haven't made it yet, but I can't wait to make it because, as we say, coming up, you can almost drink this stuff. It's so good.
It is so good. And so we've got that, and then we'll give you the down and dirty of, is it really worth it to do this with your chicken skin?
Mm-hmm. The down and dirty.
I don't know what that is, but
the lowdown. Hey, Erin, did you take the skin off chicken thighs, scrape the fat off the back of it, and put it back on the chicken?
I finally did it.
You did. What did you do with it?
I did this crazy chicken skin, and I also used the pecan smoking chips in my barbecue. And I used the recipe in Scotty Scott's Fix Me a Plate cookbook to make the pecan smoked chicken. And I also made, as per his recommendation, his Alabama white sauce.
Oh, that's what that was.
That goes along with the chicken.
Now that we're talking about this, I don't think this is going to be a reel. I think this is going to be its own episode that we just pop up there because this is fun and we should really talk more about it.
Okay, yes. Okay, I got to get the cookbook so I can say things out
get
of it.
The cookbook. So good, you guys. So good. Oh my God. Good for you for doing it. Yeah.
That was a process. I did look up some videos online of people doing it so that I could kind of watch their technique. Because at first I was like, there's nothing underneath there. I don't even know what to go after. Like, it doesn't even look like you can take anything off of it. And so I found a way to I think it's like a fish filleting knife so that you can press on it and flatten it and scrape. You can do it.
There's a reason Ryan said he would trim brisket all day long if he didn't have to do the chicken prep. Yeah,
absolutely.
I feel a little bit bad because I looked up those videos and sent them to you and then didn't actually do it myself.
I like how you assigned me homework.
I didn't.
It was great
to do it. I just said, "Oh my God, Erin, look, this is what Ryan was talking about."
You didn't tell me to do it.
No, I didn't.
But you know how to work my brain.
I gave you a challenge, a silent challenge. I didn't.
You were like, "Oh, check this out.
Look how crazy this is. What kind of person would actually take this on?" And Erin, in her mind, said, "Challenge accepted."
Did you just call someone crazy? I'm there.
Okay, so in Scotty's recipe,
yes,
does he remove the skin or does he just cook chicken this way?
His is just you just rub this stuff on your chicken.
Okay.
He's got nothing to do with
He's not messing
nonsense.
Around with that shit.
No. Yeah.
Hey, we don't know. Maybe he does. He just didn't write it in this recipe. So don't assume. Maybe he does mess around with chicken skins.
The little homemade chip smoking device that I crafted worked pretty darn good. I didn't get my chips quite hot enough because the man who has my torch was not home.
Oh.
But I made it work. It took a little bit to get them going and it smoked the chicken the entire time, and it was probably could have been more, but I will definitely try that again and do more with it.
Okay, so we went to the local, it's barbecues galore. They have obviously all the barbecues and smokers and all that stuff.
They have barbecues galore.
They sure do. And a very nice guy working in there. We had a big long conversation with him about smoking all kinds of stuff and cooking cooking on the barbecue with the smoking. So what we bought was pellets, wood chips, which are a mix of wood, or you can get pellets, which are the pure whatever kind of wood you bought. So Erin bought the pecan ones, which is what she's talking about with this chicken.
Yes, pecan tree wood. And so the package suggested that about 1/3 of a cup should smoke for half an hour. I really didn't get them going as good as I could have. And I started them a little bit late just because of the way my night was going. But I think for a first try, it worked out okay. And I definitely would like to do more. And so you'll probably hear more about me smoking or Heather smoking because she bought
the mesquite.
That's right.
Pellets. Yeah, I totally want to use them. I haven't decided what I'm going to use them for yet, but I'm going to try for sure.
Yeah. So the chicken was pretty easy. He's got a simple spice rub that you put on it, which has salt, paprika, garlic powder, black pepper, and cayenne pepper. And that's all that's going on to those chickens. When I looked at these videos on how to chop up these competition style chickens, they also trim the sides of the chicken to make them look like these little pillows or pillows.
Pillows.
Pillows. I'm gonna make a pillow out of my chicken. Sorry, a lot of these people are it's fun watching these videos because then as I was doing this, every time I wrapped up a chicken, I was like, my little chicken pillow.
Oh, cute. And some of them have little pans.
Yes.
Mini loaf pan kind of thing where it's so that the chicken stays in the pan and doesn't change shape. So they're all uniform and completely perfect.
Yeah. So they had this way of trimming the sides and doing all this trimming to make it a perfect uniform across all of the chicken thighs. And because I'm not entering this into a barbecue competition blind, you know who the cook is, Heather.
Come on.
I'm not going to go and trim off edible meat to make it look a certain way. I get for a competition why that's important. But for my own personal use, I'm not going to go through all that nonsense. So all I did was remove the skin from the chicken, and then I started scraping the top of the skin because there were still some like feather and you know what I mean? Like there's always little bits kind of left on the chicken skin. So I kind of scraped that off first, but then you flip it down, you lie it flat on your cutting board and stretch it out. And then I used a fish filleting knife. And so it's got a really thin blade as it goes to the end, and it's very long. And so you can press on it and it bends. And then you can slide it along your chicken skin and it's amazing how thin you can really get it. And I hope in the video that it will show, but it's extremely transparent when it comes off of my cutting board. Like the first few, I was like, oh my God, is there even skin left? Oh yeah, there still is. Okay, keep going.
Yeah.
And so I put these in my barbecue with the smoking chips for about 30 minutes on the top rack with my barbecue nice and hot and my plate of baking steel on the bottom to kind of deflect the heat up and around.
Directly on the grill?
On the top little rack.
Oh, on the top. Oh, nice. Okay. With the smoke underneath.
I had the smoke in there, and it was doing a really good. I think I could have, again, I gotta finesse this smoking thing, and that's okay. I will learn.
Yeah,
I will do more. Hey everyone, thanks so much for clicking play on this episode. We hope you've enjoyed all the foods that we've been barbecuing over the last 4 weeks, and we'd really love to see what you're barbecuing on your grills. Post a picture and tag at 3 Kitchens Podcast so we can see what you've been making. See you out on the socials.
Okay, what's this white sauce?
Okay.
I must have the recipe. Give me that book back because oh my God, Scotty, what is in this sauce? It was so good.
This sauce is like, you want to drink it.
Yes.
Which sounds so gross, but
so
oh my
true.
God, so true. So in his recipe, he calls it Alabama white sauce. Because
okay.
The thing you'll learn, and that we notice when going through this book, is that he's got some fun language that he uses as he writes this book, and it makes it really enjoyable to read. Okay, so this white sauce had mayonnaise, apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, orange juice, horseradish, Worcestershire sauce.
Horseradish? Sorry.
I saw the word Worcestershire, and then my shushes were ready.
I'm sorry.
Horseradish, brown mustard, Worcestershire sauce, black pepper, cayenne pepper, and garlic powder. And as per his instructions, you whisk everything together in a bowl until smooth, and then it can keep in your fridge for up to 2 weeks. I doubt it would last that long.
No, it would not last that long.
But this makes a big batch. I think I quartered the batch just for our chicken, but I'm in love with this sauce. Like, I can't imagine having any barbecue chicken now without it.
Oh my God. It is. I couldn't tell you what was in it. I was like, I don't know what this. I'm glad you told me ahead of time. Don't be scared of this. It's white, but it's not dairy. It's mayo, because I would have been like, is this buttermilk or something? Like, what is this?
Yeah. And it occurred to me at the last moment. I was like, oh, it's a white sauce. Oh, she might think it's milk. It's okay. You're safe.
Yeah.
Chug
it. Chug it for sure. I couldn't even identify what was in it, and I didn't care. I had that one piece of chicken and my little cup of sauce, and I didn't tell. My family was like out in the gym, and I was like hiding in my house, just like dipping, and oh man, the whole thing all together. Yeah. I wanted more of it, more.
Okay. So sauce, delicious. Absolutely. Rub, super tasty. Pecan smoke. They were kind of smoky. Again, I got to get better at this smoky thing. And I think had my torch been home, I would have definitely done it.
Yeah.
But the big question in all of this is that chicken skin worth it?
No. I'm just going to say, I think not.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with you on that.
I wanted a bit of fat with my chicken skin, actually. I felt it was sort of pointless like that.
This was also my thought was, I should have maybe brushed oil on top of the chicken skin after I put the seasoning rub on, because I was like, there wasn't enough
It was too dry on top.
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I paid attention to how you bite into it because that was what both Ryan and
Yes.
Avery told us. The point of doing that for a competition is so that the judge can cleanly bite through the skin and not have to kind of mess around or pull on the skin or have gooey pieces or whatever. You want it to be a nice clean bite through. So I get that. And that actually is true of it.
It's
Like I would
accomplished.
say,
Yeah. The
yes.
method does result in that for sure.
Yes, for sure. So I do get it, and I understand why they do it. But if you're making this at home, you have a better tasting piece of chicken if you leave the skin with the fat. It's not like there's a ton of fat under there, anyways, right?
I should have weighed how much fat I took off
it's
of the
not like
6 chicken skins, because it was a good little pile of.
I mean, I guess, but once it's cooked, it's really not like not like it's a big. I don't know. I thought it's better with it. There's a reason that nature. Well, that's not the reason. It's not for us to enjoy eating it, but I was going to say there's a reason nature puts fat under the skin, but it's not for our enjoyment, actually.
It's so that we
bird.
can eat the yumminess. It's because nature does that for the yumminess intended for
Yes,
the
exactly.
consumer.
Thank you, nature.
Thank you. Yeah. And so this was my question to my husband, because I didn't tell anybody that I was doing this, and they were all like, oh, this chicken. Even my youngest, who doesn't like spicy very often, I was like, poo on you. I'm making this with all the spices in it. I don't really like the horseradish. He would be like, meh, because of the spiciness of it, so I was like, you know what, I'm just putting it all in. If he doesn't like it, fine by me. But he was like, this is kind of spicy, but it's actually really tasty when he bit into the chicken. So he really enjoyed the flavor. And my oldest son too, wow, this chicken is so good. And my husband, ooh, I love this flavor. And I said, okay, but was the skin really amazing? And he's like, no.
What skin? It's almost like the skin disappears.
Yeah. It's really, yeah.
And that's everybody's favorite part. My kids always fight over who, like if you roast a chicken, who's going to get the crispiest skin off it. Yeah. So I would say if you're going to make and you should make Scotty's chicken and the sauce, I mean, make that by the bucketful. I don't know. I was going to say boatload. That doesn't really work. Make it for sure. Yeah. But keep the skin as normal. Don't sweat this.
Yeah. I don't think I'd make a big deal about that skin for sure. I did it.
Well, I'm impressed that you took it on and you did it, and we can say that we've tried it, and there's a reason why people don't do it when they cook at home.
Yeah. And maybe it would have been different had we in competition. They probably are cooking their chicken for longer. They're cooking it at a lower temperature. There's a whole bunch of different factors. So maybe
it might turn out differently. Yeah.
I'm sure that would change what happens. But in terms of that cooking at home, I would say it's not worth it. And now Ryan and I have something to commiserate over next time we chat.
You feel his pain.
I only did it 6 times, so I really have nothing to say, but I attempted it.
Well, good for you. I'm glad you did, because I'm happy to have tried it. And this recipe is awesome.
I can't wait to see what you do with those mesquite pellets.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you have heard about barbecuing and barbecuing from us for the last 4 weeks. So if you haven't checked out our previous episodes, we did talk about competition barbecue here in Alberta. But now we're done with that, and we're going to skip into some fun spring content coming up in the next few weeks here. Heather has perfected vanilla extract.
Oh, I don't know about perfection, but I made vanilla extract and then used it in a baking recipe. That's really good. So that one's coming up. I'm
getting into some Asian style cooking since we lost Sarah for our cooking episodes, I had to take on something.
Somebody had to take over. I was going to say take the torch. I don't know. Does that make sense?
I don't know.
Are you now the resident Asian cook? I don't think you want to claim that.
I don't think I can claim that. I took what I've learned from Sarah and went out with that confidence to the Asian supermarket, and I've got a great recipe that was extremely frustrating and fantastically rewarding.
She's deep frying, everybody. Deep frying causes frustration.
I think I found a way around deep frying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's good news. And I'm doing a little bit of experimenting too with some of the ingredients that I found. Right. And so that's coming. And we've got, we talked to a Canadian chef.
He was actually a Top Chef Canada winner. So you can speculate. If you're a fan, you can speculate on who that might be coming up.
Yeah, and spring has sprung. Oh, baby, we are outside, and we have a great guest who's going to talk to us about food that we can eat when we are in the
wilderness,
great outdoors.
On the go. She's a friend who is an avid outdoors person, and she's got some great tips for what you put in your backpack when you're off on your adventures out in the woods, hiking and backcountry camping and stuff like that with her. That's coming up. Mm-hmm. And we've got other irons in the fire. It's constant. Mm-hmm. We have other guests that we're talking to. We've got a couple of really interesting guests coming up. And we're going to also revisit a couple of older episodes and with some new ideas and new recipes.
Yeah, we're going to zhuzh up what we've already done because that's our shtick.
Our shtick. Zhuzh is our shtick. Nice.
And it's okay if you've already stopped this episode by now. So
no, it's not. Do not stop before you hear. There's always a fun little clip right at the very, very end.
Yeah.
So don't turn it off too soon.
That's right. Anything else? Is there anything else we want to add into our ramblings?
I think that's all the news and events and upcoming, and goodbye. And now for the fine print. Join us over on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website at threekitchenspodcast.com. And remember, when you like, follow, subscribe, and review, it helps more people find us. Thank you so much for listening. This is going to be cut way down.
Hacking this thing to pieces. Just like those chicken skins.